Line, we trail 17-3. Crowd noise growing on the Florida sideline anyway. There's the snap. Murray will pump fake. Now he'll throw it into the far corner. Some pushing and shoving. Did we catch it? Yes, we did. Michael Bennett wrestled his way free to make the catch in the far corner.
Reverse the other way. Here comes Hines Ward. He got a block. He scored.
In the air, they give it to Henry. We met him in the hole and we tried to drive him back, and I don't know if we did, but it's awfully close. They make it. My God, the defense stopped them on the...
Breaks the tackle. No shot. 45, 50, 45, 40, 35. Nobody's going to catch him.
Cox to throw. Post route. Caught by Grady. Bumped by a man into the far corner. He's going to get there first. Touchdown. Running to the left. Angling 25-20. Got a block from Brock. 50, 10, 5. Touchdown. 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 Dogs win it. We're headed to Atlanta. And here's Eric's favorite part of SEC football.
Yeah,
the sandstorm and the white hankies, and
it's in full effect. I tried to confiscate and hide the hankies coming in. We couldn't figure out where to hide them though.
Well, from this angle, it does look pretty neat. It's a good-looking view.
It is a good-looking view.
You have to be honest. Come on now.
Listen, I never minded it until several years ago when we came out and it was 21-0 and felt like 30 seconds into the game.
I remember that was a gut punch. Yeah. I remember that well. You're right. All right, we're almost ready for some football. Georgia will kick it away. Deebo Samuel, one of the deep men back. He's in the end zone. And then they've got Turner, A.J. Turner, the up back. He's at about the 5-yard line right now as he walks around waiting for the kickoff of Rodrigo Blankenship. Georgia will be booting this one away from right to left as we view it high atop Williams-Brice Stadium, down on about the 20-yard line from our vantage point. Blankenship kicked them all out of the end zone last week in the win over Austin Peay. Here's the kickoff. We're underway. This one sailing deep into the end zone over the head of Deebo Samuel. Will land about 9 yards deep in the end zone. Bounce over the back line for the touchback, and that's how this one starts. South Carolina. Carolina, 3 receivers right, 2 to the left. Bentley in the shotgun. Shotgun snap. Bentley from his own 40 looks, throws it over the middle. Oh, off the hands and arms of Monty Rice. He wasn't expecting him. It hit him right in the body. An easy interception, or it should have been. Monty Rice couldn't come down with the catch. Brian Edwards, we think, was the target over the middle somewhere, but that throw was nowhere near the receiver and was right in our arms, but we didn't catch it.
Well, it was a crossing route. Jake Bentley just threw it hot and high. No chance for his receiver to catch it.
2nd 10, South Carolina, ball on their 47. They throw it to the left side. Off the hands. This time it is picked off the tip. Running down the sideline is Baker. 20, 15, 10, 5, pick 6, Georgia. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
Wow, should have had one on the last play. That ball, another bullet by Bentley. That ball pops up into the air, and then we swoop out of nowhere and pick it off, and there was not a Garnet jersey in sight. What a fantastic start for the Dogs. You talk about making this crowd get quiet. That's exactly the way you do it.
Looked like DeAndre Walker may have tipped it as they were trying to go to Rico Dowdle. Bentley's pass tipped up in the air, and Baker came down with the tip and all the way down the sideline on the far side for the first points of this contest. It's 6-0 Georgia, and that return was better than 50 yards, I believe. Here's the point after try by Rodrigo Blankenship. It is up and good. And it's 7-0 Georgia. That Bulldog touchdown sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares from Atlanta with over 90 destinations that you love. 7-0. Dogs lead the Gamecocks. We're not even a minute in here in Columbia on the Bulldogs Sports Network for the first.
Coach Kirby Smart here. Today's broadcast is live from the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth.
Champions for Charity game is on every time we win. Camp Twin Lakes, the Salvation Army, and Children's Healthcare of Atlanta win, because Walton Gas will donate $1,000 to these local charities. Everyone's a winner with Walton Gas. Georgia on offense for the first time in the ball game, leading 7-0. Georgia on its own 24-yard line. Jake Fromm, the quarterback, DeAndre Swift in the backfield. Fromm's in the shotgun. We bring Mecole Hardman in motion to the near side. Play fake Georgia. Fromm with time throws. Complete to Tyler Simmons at the 35-yard line on the near hash. And the native of Powder Springs brings it down there and is tackled by Sherrod Green and Rashad Fenton. But not before the Dogs pick up 11 yards. They actually moved the ball to the 36. So a gain of 12. First and 10 Georgia on our own 36-yard line.
Carolina played cover 3 right there. Dogs actually want to throw a bubble screen up top. That curl route was Jake Fromm's third option.
We shift. Fromm goes under center. Toss sweep to Swift. Running this way. Draws a crowd of garnet shirts and black pants, and they run him out of bounds into the South Carolina sideline. DeAndre Swift, not a lot of space on the short side of the field, this near sideline. We'll see where they mark the ball at the 38-yard line. A pickup of 2 for the sophomore running back from Philadelphia. Second down 8 for Georgia. Dogs 7-0 on the interception return for a touchdown. 56 yards by DeAndre Baker, not even a minute into the ballgame.
Good job there by Carolina on that toss sweep into the boundary, just getting down the line of scrimmage, creating a wall, nowhere to go. 7
in the box for South Carolina. We throw it out in the right flat to Hardman. Hardman with jet speed, gets all by the first 2 men and then tried to leap over a guy at the Carolina 35-yard line. He steps out of bounds. There's a flag down at the end of the play. Out of bounds at the end of the run at the Carolina 32 was Mecole Hardman, who just went flying by defenders yet again. But let's check the flag from referee Matt Leffler and his crew here in Columbia.
Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds, number 6. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, that one might be a little give back for the pass interference that we had out of bounds. Pretty nitpicky, but we'll take it.
Dogs racking up some Scana Energy first downs on this possession. The ball will be placed on the 17. Let's go to Chuck on the sidelines. Cook's Pest Control.
Yeah, let me tell you, Scott, what happened was Mecole was down on the ground out of bounds, and he got hit. He got hit as he was laying on the ground out of bounds, played dead. That's what the foul was.
First and 10 Georgia at the Carolina 17-yard line. Dogs in the Massey Ferguson red zone here in the first quarter. Out of the pistol, Swift behind Fromm. DeAndre gets the handoff, angling to the near side, to the 10, to the 5, end zone, touchdown, DeAndre Swift. He got a massive block on this side. I think it may have been Crumpton that sprung him on the near side. Swift into the end zone, and the Dogs lead it 13-0.
Indeed it was Crumpton. Riley Ridley in on the action too. We had a couple of decleaters by our receivers that allowed DeAndre Swift to get to the outside. Isaac Nada, another one. A phenomenal job by our receivers and tight ends blocking downfield.
Georgia has stunned this overflow crowd here in Columbia, but we're not even 5 minutes into the ball game. Extra point try by Blankenship. The snap is good. The hold is down. The kick is right between the pipes. Good. It's 14-0. That touchdown brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares from Atlanta to over 90 destinations you love. Georgia 14. Gamecocks nothing. First quarter. Absolutely no room there as LeCount and Walker had it covered for Georgia. It'll be second down 9 after a gain of 1. Ball's on the Dogs' 14-yard line. South Carolina working on a 75-yard drive here. They started at their own 25. They trail 14-0. Bentley with 2 men to the left. One comes in motion. He'll give him the football. They want to throw it with him, and in the end zone, it is caught. Open, touchdown. Wide open is Edwards. Deebo Samuel took the handoff from the left side, came in motion, pulled up, and threw a wobbler into the end zone where Brian Edwards had no one around him within 10 yards, and South Carolina's on the board with a touchdown.
Well, the focus on Deebo Samuel is evident there. He got the ball on the jet sweep, and everybody abandoned their man downfield in pursuit of Deebo Samuel. Easy throw and catch, and then Deebo Samuel pulls a Baker Mayfield and does a whirlwind run with his arms down the sideline.
All right, the point after try by Parker White is good. And South Carolina cuts the lead in half. It's now Georgia 14 and the Gamecocks 7. The first points allowed by the Bulldog defense this season. South Carolina's drive covered 75 yards, and the scoring play was a 13-yard pass from Samuel to Edwards to get him into the end zone to the right. Well, the Dawgs.
Ridley was running wide open on a takeoff going down the field.
3rd and 10 Georgia, ball at the Carolina 33. Swift is back in the backfield for the Dawgs. Fromm, shotgun snap to the quarterback. He throws it near side. Ridley catches it at the 30, sidesteps one man but not another. Brought down at the 29.5 by Jamias Williams. They may spot it up as far as the 28-yard line, and they will. And the gain is 5, and that's going to bring on our field goal unit, with the line of scrimmage being the 28 of South Carolina, 4th down, and Rodrigo Blankenship will try a 45-yard field goal. Jake Camarda will be the holder. He'll kneel at the 35, near hash, kicking to the left towards the big scoreboard. Blankenship takes a look at the goalposts. Nick Moore, the snap, the put down, the kick is away. It is reaching, and it is good. 45-yarder. Rodrigo Blankenship makes it 17-7. Georgia leads by 10 with 30 seconds to go. That was another All-State good hands field goal from Rodrigo Blankenship, who has turned into one of the most reliable for 5, 6, 7 yards out of bounds. So 4th down for the Gamecocks. They're going to try to get on the board with a field goal here.
Well, great coverage there by the Dawgs, and Dawgs bend a little bit but don't break, force the field goal. And that Georgia defense has been on the field for a long time this first half. As we get the ball back, it would be great to see this Georgia offense to go on just a grinding kind of drive and chew up some clock.
From the 17, Parker White will try for the field goal. The kick is up and good on the 27-yard field goal by the South Carolina sophomore. And the Gamecocks at Columbia. Georgia Power brings the energy for every game day and to your community too. Visit georgiapower.com/sports to learn more. A couple of scores from the Comcast Business scoreboard. Tennessee 10, East Tennessee State nothing. That's in the second quarter in Knoxville. Ole Miss and Southern Illinois tied at 21. That's a second quarter score in Oxford, Mississippi. Notre Dame 14, Ball State 3 in the second. All right, we'll try it again. 44-yard try. Rodrigo Blankenship, junior kicker from Marietta, will try to put the Dawgs up by 10. Jake Camarda, the freshman punter, is the holder. Nick Moore is the snapper. Snap is a little bit high. Camarda puts it down, and the kick is away, and the kick is good into the net. 44-yarder, Rodrigo Blankenship. And that's how the half ends, and that's another All-State good hands field goal as the Dawgs go up by 10 at the end of the first half. Blankenship 2 for 2 on his field goal tries here in this ball game thus far, and it's Georgia 20 and South Carolina 10.
What a great job there by the Dawgs on that drive to take advantage of the shank punt, find a way to get 3 points. Very calm on that 2-minute drive, taking what the defense gave us to get into field goal range. A big 3 points, and we get the ball coming out at half.
So that was the kick was 34 yards. I'm looking for the drive in the distance, and at 40 yards. All right, let's go down to the sidelines, and Chuck Dowdle's got the coach.
Mark, Coach, good way to finish that half, and you got the lead on the scoreboard, and you get the ball coming out in the second half, but what concerns you going in?
Well, the passing game for them, taking some shots. They hit us on a trick play. Got a young corner out there who's got to play with disciplined eyes. I think offensively, we just self-destruct a couple times. If we don't self-destruct, we're hard to stop.
All right, thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. All right, there you go. He's right. If they don't self.
Meanwhile, back to action. 38-yard line is where the Dawgs have the ball. They just picked up a Scana Energy first down on the Swift run. 1st and 10, our 38. Early seconds of the third quarter. Swift hesitates as he runs at right tackle. Stutter steps a little bit and up to the 40-yard line. Swift helped up by Isaac Nauta and will kind of hobble a little bit to the far side of the field, back to the sideline as Holyfield checks into the ball game.
Boy, far too many people hobbling off the field right now for the Dawgs to make me feel comfortable.
Boy, you're not kidding. Not at all. All right, the gain was a couple. 2nd down and 8 from our 40 for the Dawgs. Shotgun snap to Fromm. Will set and throw. Pass is to the right side to Riley Ridley, right on the Carolina sideline. He caught it at the 48, veered inside to try to get some more yardage, and Nixon will stop him at the 48.5 for 49-yard line. That's another Scana Energy first down, a gain of 9. Moved the sticks for the Dogs as we near midfield.
Great timing there by Jake Fromm. Just a hitch route on the outside by Ridley. No way that can be defended when it's thrown that accurately and that on time.
Fromm will hand it off to Holyfield. He's got a gap behind Mays at left tackle, and right up the chute he goes and into Carolina territory near the 41-yard line. Sherrod Green, a linebacker for the Gamecocks, makes the stop at the 41. That's a gain of 10 and another first down, brought to you by Scana Energy. Dogs moving fast. Fake it to Holyfield, sling it out to Hardman. With Riley Ridley blocking a wide receiver screen on the right. Hardman makes the catch down to the 34-yard line. Keyshawn Nixon on the stop for the Carolina defense. It's 7 more yards. It's second down and 3. Dogs offense moving rapidly.
Quick bubble screen to the outside. Hardman just stuck his head in the turf, knowing that he misread that block.
We'll go to Mecole on the left side. Catches it 30, 20, pulls away, 10, 5, touchdown, Mecole Hardman.
Boy, great block on the outside. Was that Tyler Simmons? Fantastic block by Tyler. It was the same play we just ran where Mecole Hardman misread the block on the other side by Riley Ridley. This time doesn't misread it at all. Dogs had single safety, man-to-man on the outside. We just flip a quick bubble screen out to Hardman. Same play, other side. This time Hardman doesn't hesitate, turns on the Jets, and that's a way to answer the bell coming out of halftime.
Broke away from Stephen Montack, the safety from Covington, and went 34 yards down the sideline for the touchdown to put the Dogs up 26-10 with the point after try pending from Rodrigo Blankenship. And we've got movement on the right side of the line of scrimmage. Carolina jumped and then we moved, and flags are down. That touchdown sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares from Atlanta to over 90 destinations you love. Matt Leffler has the call.
Offside on the defense. Number 6. The penalty's declined. Replay the try.
All right, they'll reset and try the kick again. Blankenship will step it off. 27-10. Blankenship makes the point. The snap and the hold. The kick is in the air. And the kick is good. 27-10. Georgia leading South Carolina. Early minutes of quarter number 3. 12:55 to go in the third period. The Dogs up by 17. Timeout. First and 10, Georgia on our 25. Handoff, DeAndre Swift. They yank him down from behind. Wow, that was Rick Sandage, a 6'5", 285-pound freshman, as it looked like Swift's legs went forward and his body went backwards the way that tackle was made. He loses almost 2 full yards back to the 23. Tried to run it left tackle, but no blocking there, and Sandage made a nice stop.
No, just beat everywhere up front. Hard to sustain drives when you're playing from behind the chains.
Fromm, play fake, will throw to the right side. Caught by Holloman. Breaks away from the first man at the 30. Cuts inside, spins at the 35. Pile moving, 36, 37, still upright to the 38.5. My goodness.
Wow, 9 Georgia Bulldogs pushing that pile. You talk about hustle, effort, doing the small things that make a difference. Pretty impressive right there.
Yeah, indeed, up to the 38.5, almost the 39. The gain was 16. That's a Scana Energy first down. Jeremiah Holloman, sophomore from Covington, Georgia, with his first catch of the ball game, and it's a big one as the Dogs generate a first down. They move the sticks up to the 38, and we're ready to go again. Fromm up behind the center. Lamont Gilliard, he goes under center now. Brian Harrion is in the ball game as the lone setback. We slide Simmons across the formation in motion. Hand off to Harrion. Sticks his head in there at left guard and center and drives forward for about 1.5 yards, maybe 2, across the 40 to the 41. Kobe Smith, defensive lineman from Lawrenceville, Georgia, makes the stop for Carolina.
Boy, there was a huge hole just in the cutback. If he would have cut that back to his left, a massive hole was opened up. Not a bad decision to plow forward, but a little bit of patience there and some vision. That one could have been a gash.
Carolina playing without one of their key defensive players today, DJ Wanham. He is out with an injury from last week. Dogs lost DeAndre Walker in the first half, but he's back here in the second half due to an injury. And then Andrew Thomas was injured moments ago for the Bulldogs. We'll give you a report when we can. Brian Harrion on the carry, angles to the right to the 43-yard line near the Carolina sideline, tackled by Brad Johnson, a sophomore defensive end for the Gamecocks. It's going to be 3rd down and 5 for the Bulldogs. Less than 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Dogs just 1 for 5 on 3rd down tries this afternoon. They'll try this one from their own 43. Fromm back in the shotgun. 2 receivers out to the left and 2 to the right. He's got time. He'll throw downfield. There's Harrion breaking open. Throws it over his head. There comes a flag in late.
That's going to be holding. I'm not sure who it was for Carolina, but Harrion, little wheel right out of the backfield. I believe it was one of the linebackers, Green, for Carolina. Grabbed a hold of him and took him off of his route.
Holding. Defense, number 44. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Well, those are words we like to hear from referee Matt Leffler. Automatic first down as the Dogs keep the possession alive on the defensive holding penalty on South Carolina. And the Dogs will be in Carolina territory when they next snap the ball, as the center judge walks it off and places the ball down at the Gamecock 47.
Dogs are going to have some opportunities here to take shots vertically down the field. Carolina now single safety, everybody in the box. We're man-to-man outside.
Holyfield in the backfield for the Dogs now. We've been using Swift and Holyfield and Harrion in this ball game. Holyfield will block. Wide open left side. Hardman caught at the 18. Down to the 5. Fromm looked off the secondary and then fired back to the left. And Miko was wide open on the left side of the field. Caught it and tried to get into the end zone. This time they catch him at the 5-yard line.
Great. That was an audible at the line of scrimmage by Fromm. You could just see by the way Carolina was lined up. Carolina brought pressure over the slot, never got over the top of it.
42 yards. Here's Holyfield stepping over, man, and diving into the end zone across the goal line. Touchdown, Georgia.
Boy, and I see the freshman out there, Cade Mays, making some big plays and some big blocks in his first real meaningful action. Good to see when you can bring somebody like that into the football game.
High fives for the freshman, Z, right on cue as Mays opened up the hole on that left side, and Holyfield running hard, stepping over, bodies on the ground to dive across the goal line, angling left for the score. That touchdown brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares from Atlanta to over 90 destinations you love. It's 33-10. We love that. Here's Blankenship for the point after try to attempt to make it 34-10. The placement is down. The kick is in the air. It is good. Blankenship remains perfect on his extra points, and the Dogs roll it up. It's 34-10. Georgia quieting Williams-Brice Stadium. All right. Well, that's a lot better than a knee in most cases.
No question about that.
Southwest Airlines, low fares from Atlanta to over 90 destinations you love. A destination I would love right now would be the end zone again. Georgia's offense back out there on the 14-yard line, our own 14, ready to go. Third possession of the third quarter. South Carolina's fans are thinning out here at Williams-Brice Stadium. We hand it off to DeAndre Swift. He runs it straight up the field, across the 17 to almost the 18. Aaron Sterling, a defensive end from Atlanta, on the stop, a sophomore for Carolina, 6'1" and 245. Those are the ball almost to the 18-yard line, a 4-yard run for DeAndre. 2nd down, 6 for the Dogs.
And that's just a push from the offensive line. Looked like nothing was there. Next thing you know, it's a 4-yard gain.
3 receivers bunched out wide to the left in Georgia's formation. The Dogs are moving to our right. Gilliard with a snap to Fromm. Quick sling out to Hardman with blocks. Hardman almost pulled away at the 25. Guy was hanging on for dear life around his waist. Charlie Werner, Demetrius Robertson blocking out on that left edge. If that guy doesn't hang on, number 4 is off again into the end zone. As it is, he got the first down at the 26 where they stop it.
If I'm a defensive coordinator, I don't know if I play man-to-man outside if Hardman's out there. He catches that football. He is one step away all the time from taking it to the house.
1st and 10. Dawgs on our own 26-yard line. That last catch and run put Mecole Hardman over 100 yards receiving. First one this year. Here's Harrion running up the gut, moving behind the line of scrimmage. The pile goes with him, straight up between the hash marks, up to 35. South Carolina has no answer right now as Harrion runs it up for 9 yards to the 35-yard line. Kinley and Cade Mays, the guard and left tackle, and Charlie Werner, the tight end, just steamroll in South Carolina's defense on that play.
Yeah, there's not even a cut that I might be able to run behind that.
Well, let's don't get crazy.
Well, maybe not. I could walk behind that, though.
Ball's at the 36. Here's Harrion at left tackle, cuts in behind Cade Mays, and there they go again across the 40. Here goes the pile. Big Ben Cleveland jumps in there and moves it another yard or so up to the 45-yard line, a 10-yard push. The actual run may have been about 5 yards, maybe 6, and then the pile finished it off. Gilliard, Mays, again leading the blocking. Georgia's offensive line is really starting to beat up on South Carolina and wear down the defense in garnet and black.
Well, you know, Scott, we talked about in the first half, we weren't able to do that because we didn't have the football a whole lot. Right now, you're starting to see all these big bodies, you know, 318, 335, 335, 340. They're starting to wear down this defensive line of South Carolina.
Now we've just gone power, 2 tight end set. Holyfield behind the line. Handoff bounces out 50. Elijah 45-40. Far sideline, leans in and stumbles towards the 30-yard line and out of bounds right there. Quick 25-yard burst by Elijah Holyfield off the left side. Gets the ball just inside the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Dogs at the Carolina 29.5.
Very reminiscent of what we saw so often last year. Get a demanding lead, turn the football game over to your offensive line and your running backs. We've got different personnel in right now, but a very similar story.
Georgia on the Carolina 29. Here we go. Handoff Holyfield. He cuts, moves to the left. Man hanging on. He still drives for more positive yardage. Right over the SEC logo on the 25-yard line. Holyfield takes it to the Carolina 22.5. Stephen Montack, the safety, made the tackle for the Gamecock defense. But it's a 6-yard gain. 2nd down and 4. Clock moving 3rd quarter. We've still got a 4th quarter to play. Stadium might be empty by then. 4.5 minutes, less than that now as we tick down here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, if they keep seeing this kind of performance by this offensive line, they'll start. That trickle will become a flood out of this stadium.
DeAndre Swift in the backfield now. Fromm under center. Hand it to DeAndre. Looking for a block. He cuts behind Mays again. Mays is making a lot of blocks here as he's filling in for Andrew Thomas. And Swift slashes his way to the 19.5, maybe the 18-yard line as Georgia just continue to move the football. South Carolina, again, defensively has no answer for Georgia's offense at this point.
What patience there by DeAndre Swift. For the first time in a while here, there was actually some penetration by the Carolina defensive line. Swift able to sidestep that and then patiently wait for his blocks to develop, and then he takes off.
4-yard gain for Swift, the sophomore. We bring in Holloman in tight. He flanks that left edge, hand it to DeAndre. He runs straight ahead, hesitates a little bit, sees a crease, runs in there behind big Solomon Kinley, straight up the gut to the 15-yard line. Shamik Blackshear, defensive lineman, made the tackle for South Carolina. They're standing there looking at the sidelines, hands on hips, trying to catch their breath, just trying to figure out how they can stop Georgia's running game. They don't have an answer at this point. It's 2nd down and 6. 4-yard gain for the Dogs. Ball's just inside the Carolina 15-yard line.
Brian Harrion now into the football game for DeAndre Swift.
Fromm going to give it to Harrion. Brian slides right through an opening and into the end zone, straight ahead, touchdown. He just kind of sidestepped the defender, squeezed through some daylight, and next thing you know, he's celebrating 6 in the end zone.
Boy, Lamont Gilliard, fantastic block from that center position. And you're right, Harrion, just a little bit of patience, saw a crease created by Gilliard, and then off to the races.
15 yards on the touchdown run for Brian Harrion, and the Dogs hit the 40-point mark and looking for 41. SEC contest, SEC opener in Columbia. Sellout crowd at Williams-Brice, and the Dogs are sending them to the exits. Here's Blankenship's point after try. The snap and the hold. The kick is up, and it's in the net good. It's 41-10. That Harrion touchdown, sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares from Atlanta to over 90 destinations you love. Been a better play probably than what we just saw, but it's 4th down and 4 for South Carolina. They will go for it on the Dogs' 6-yard line. 3 receivers bunched tightly on the right side, 1 to the left, and a bullet fired into the end zone, and it's picked off in the end zone. J.R. Reed caught that bullet in the end zone for the touchback.
Great read there by J.R. Reed. Saw the slant the entire way, jumps right in front of it and able to secure the catch. Well done.
Projectile dysfunction for the 2nd time for Jake Bentley. The Dogs have the ball going the other way. 1st and 10 on the 20, timeout. 13:25 to go in the game. Georgia 41, South Carolina 10 on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Freshman linebacker, Stockbridge, Georgia. Tate Crowder, junior linebacker from Hamilton. The gain was 3, 2nd down and 7 from the Georgia 44-yard line. Bentley to throw it, going to go deep near sideline. One-on-one coverage, caught over the shoulder by Edwards, and a touchdown. He beat Tyson Campbell, but the ball was perfectly placed, and the 6'3 Edwards over the shoulder catch for the long touchdown for South Carolina.
You cannot throw a deep ball any better than that. Tyson Campbell in pretty good shape, not great shape, wasn't able to get up and extend through the hands of Edwards and knock that football out. But that ball was thrown as well as you can throw a deep ball.
44 yards on the touchdown throw and catch. Jake Bentley to Brian Edwards. And now here's Parker White for the point after try for South Carolina. They end their long scoring drought as the extra point kick is up and good. 9:59 to go. Carolina gets something to cheer about here late in the ball game. 3rd down 3 from the Carolina 19. 1:15 to go. Handoff Hudson hesitates, hits the hole. 15, 14, 13, twisted down there. Another 1st down to the 13-yard line, 6-yard pickup. Javon Charleston hit him first as the Dogs drive into the Massey Ferguson red zone, presented by Massey Ferguson. Experience the compact utility tractors that will take you through the season strong.
Boy, Dogs finish this game with, what was that, a 9-minute, 40-second drive.
Yeah, this is just what the doctor ordered. Now they go into the victory formation. 48 seconds to go, 13 on the play clock. Justin Fields watching the clock tick down, and they'll take a knee, take the snap here in just a minute. Fields to take the snap. He'll take the knee, and the final 33 will tick away. Our sacks update is brought to you by Nissan Intelligent Mobility. Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway. The Dogs had 1 sack today. South Carolina had 2 in the ball game. And the Champions for Charity game is on every time we win. Camp Twin Lakes wins. The Salvation Army and Children's Healthcare of Atlanta win, because Walton Gas will donate $1,000 to these local charities, and for every bowl game the Dogs win, Walton Gas will donate $5,000. Everyone's a winner with Walton Gas. Final second of the ball game ticks off the clock, and the clock is wiped clean here in Columbia. No photograph opportunity.
Well, beyond the earth, beyond all things that gave us birth, we'll navigate the seas.